An ordinance that tackles eviction protection for low-income families is being pushed back in Spokane. We spoke with newly elected City Council President Brianne Beggs to tell us how the city is planning to take action.
It's still been warm enough this December that we're still tracking rain as opposed to snow. The latest on this upcoming weekend.
Just diffusing into the air can be a respiratory irritant, and in cats it lands on their fur and then they lick themselves, and then they have ingested it.
Those essential oils can make a great Christmas gift, but if you have pets, you're going to want to know about some surprising risks.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
It's good to have you with us tonight. I'm Whitney Ward.
It's always cheaper to keep people in their housing than to try to find new housing for them.
So right now in Spokane, there's no way to protect tenants from rising rents. Landlords can raise them just as much as they want, and they don't have to help tenants locate new housing.
Emergency ordinances were supposed to fix this, but a vote to pass them has been pushed back to March. Amanda Rowley looked into this. She joins us live in the studio with what she found. Amanda?
Yeah, Mark and Whitney, Councilmember Brianne Beggs told me more people on both sides of the tenant and landlord protection ordinances are coming forward with more concerns. This is just one reason why he says city council members want more time to discuss this.
If it was to go to a vote right now, they wouldn't pass. And so that's what I try to tell people, like, well, the status quo is what would happen if we had kept the vote Monday. So let's keep it alive, let's make it better, and hopefully by March we'll get there.
Spokane City Council member Brianne Beggs says finding common ground with tenants and landlords is proving to be a bit difficult. That's because he believes both sides have valid concerns. Many of you shared those concerns on our Facebook page. Fred says he doesn't think the government should be involved at all. He adds tenants should just pay rent on time. But Carrie says she is struggling to find a home due to rates she cannot afford. She even supports the proposed $2,000 relocation fee. She says that's 1 month worth of work, which for some is difficult to save up for.
Until we get to that March vote, what does it look like for tenants?
Well, over a year ago, we set aside several $100,000 to help tenants with loans for high deposits, if that was the obstacle. And then we also set aside money for landlords who need to repair their houses if they're renting to low-income people. And we also put some money in for relocation assistance for people who are priced out of their houses. So those monies have been there for a while.
Now, looking ahead to the March vote on the two ordinances, Beggs says the public should come prepared with specific changes they want to see in the ordinance. He says that's more beneficial to their discussion than just saying you are for or against it. Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
All right, Amanda, thank you very much. Well, we are already halfway through the work week, and it's looking pretty clear until the weekend.
Yeah, it really is. Thomas Patrick is here now to tell us what we can expect as we get closer to the weekend.
Yeah, and more rain in the forecast as opposed to snow, which is a bit unusual for December standards. Hey, maybe we already paid our dues with the September and October snow, if you remember that. Maybe you already purged it from your memories. But yeah, more rain today. Light rain overall. Looks like the heaviest just went north of Coeur d'Alene, closer towards the Hayden area. But it's been on and off for the last couple hours, especially between Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, Plummer, Tico areas. It's been kind of the one pocket, but I do want to shift my attention off to central Washington and Grant County. You see a little pink on the map near Moses Lake in the Vantage area. Still a possibility of some light freezing drizzle tonight because that's where our temperatures have been coldest today. Just 34 in Moses Lake, 32 in Ritzville. Compare that to 42 in Spokane and 42 in Pullman as of right now. So if we're seeing any moisture, it's going to be rain. You see the roads are a little bit damp in downtown Spokane. Looks like it's just going to stay as cloudy skies, not just today, but for some time being as well. So a quick look at Future Tracker. Looks like it does stay more rain as opposed to freezing rain, but I'll give you the time frame for that and what this weekend will look like as well, all in just a few minutes.
Sounds good, Thomas. Thank you very much. Today marks exactly 1 month since Washington voters overwhelmingly passed $30 car tab fees, and from the start, opponents feared state transportation projects could take a hit.
Yeah, and now tonight, WashDOT says the North Spokane corridor is one of those projects. KREM 2's Tim Pham is joining us live to explain what is next for the project. Tim?
Well, I can tell you that the project is still ongoing. This means that what's already in progress isn't just going to abruptly stop. We're near Spokane Community College tonight, where the North Spokane corridor will one day fly over the parking lot. But I can tell you that the next phase of the project that was set to begin early next year could be delayed. The ink isn't even dry, and I-976 is already making an impact. Governor Inslee asked state agencies to give him a list of projects not yet underway and postpone them. WashDOT estimates $451 million lost from the 2019-2021 budget. While Western Washington could see the most cuts, the North Spokane corridor in our area could too. Construction isn't stopping, but the next phase slated for next March is.
The deferral means 6 months, so it's just pushed back at this time to allow funding flexibility.
So now this area will be on hold until September. WashDOT says this gives the legislature more time to make decisions on projects across the state because ultimately they have the final say. KREM 2 was there in September when representatives said the project was fully funded. So why is funding now at risk? Well, it turns out this was based on projected revenues before 976 was passed.
Kind of promised revenue from the gas tax of Connecting Washington, which was passed in 2015. But again, the legislature has the final say into where that funding will go.
So if there's a delay, what's that mean for the overall completion date? Well, WashDOT says the date isn't changing.
At this time, we are still on track to completion in 2029 until we see the real impacts from what could happen.
So what happens if 976 is overturned? We know that Tim Eyman has passed 2 initiatives in the past, and both of them were overturned by the legislature. And WashDOT says we simply don't know what will happen if 976 is overturned, but I can tell you that in March, the bidding process for this next phase of the North Spokane corridor was set to happen. So everything would have to be overturned by March for this project to be right on track as it was stated originally. So we will likely see some type of delay. In Spokane, I'm Tim Pham, KREM 2 News.
All right, Tim, thank you very much. New at 5 tonight, we just learned a for-profit Spokane College has to pay for fraud against the Department of Veterans Affairs. New Horizons Spokane and its general manager have agreed now to pay more than $120,000. Educational institutions requested reimbursement from the VA for tuition and fees incurred by veterans and service members under the GI Bill. In this case, New Horizons admitted to not following the rules for taking part in the program. The Spokane Valley New Horizons location is one of more than 60 franchises across the country.
Spokane police say a man punched and strangled a stranger and called him a racial slur before stabbing him last night. The alleged assault happened downtown. The group went to the Spokane Transit Authority Plaza for help. They told officers the man appeared to be high or drunk and possibly homeless.
The House Intelligence Committee has approved a report claiming President Trump did in fact pressure Ukraine to launch political investigations of his rivals.
Now the impeachment inquiry shifts to the Judiciary Committee, which is holding its first public hearing today.
But everything I read on those occasions tells me that when President Trump invited, indeed demanded foreign involvement in our upcoming election, he struck at the very heart of what makes this a republic to which we pledge allegiance.
4 law professors were called to give their opinions today, but Jonathan Turley, who is also a CBS News contributor, is the lone witness for the Republicans.
If you're going to accuse a president of bribery, you need to make it stick, because you're trying to remove a duly elected President of the United States.
The House Intelligence Committee voted last night along party lines to approve a more than 300-page report summarizing its investigation into President Trump's actions with Ukraine.
The report's key finding is that President Trump used the power of his office to apply increasing pressure on the president of Ukraine to investigate campaign rival Joe Biden.
Takata is recalling even more airbags over the chance they could explode. The now bankrupt airbag manufacturer is recalling 1.4 million driver-side inflators here in the U.S.
Those airbags are in a number of common vehicles on the road right now, including BMWs, Volkswagens, Hondas, and Toyotas, all made from 1995 to 2000.
Well, it is that time of the year again for Tree of Sharing. The program is set up right now at area malls.
Yeah, and they desperately need your help to fill 8,000 gift requests. So here's how you can be a part of it. Just pick up a gift request at either River Park Square, Northtown Mall, or the Spokane Valley Mall. And each tag will tell you the person's age and what they would love to get for Christmas. Then you just fill that request and make someone's holiday.
There are tags for babies and seniors and everyone in between. The Tree of Sharing goes on through December 16th. It's a great program.
It really is.
Yeah, kind of a no-brainer, right?